Oh, crap.
There we go.
She tricked me. She tricked me. I was like, I don't think she's going to do the timer, and she did. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Housekeepers podcast. Dare I say, the cleanest hour in podcast. And I am extremely excited for today. I'm going to introduce you to someone who is just pretty fantastic in the cleaning industry, who has a very unique approach to the cleaning industry. And you got to follow him on TikTok. Go to TikTok and find him at Bin Blasters, at Bin Blasters on TikTok. Casey Evertsen. Thank you, Evertsen.
Hi.
Evertsen. Thank you so much for coming on the show. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's a beautiful Monday.
It's a beautiful Monday in Utah, right? You're all the way in Utah.
Yeah, Spanish Fork, Utah. It's beautiful here.
And you have a company where you clean garbage cans, residential garbage cans. Do you clean commercial garbage cans? Is that a thing? Are there dumpster cleaners?
So yeah, there are trucks that clean dumpsters, but most of those commercial garbage cans we could squeeze in our lifters and lift upside down and blast them.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So you clean garbage cans. You literally if I understand your business right, you follow behind the garbage person. So the garbage guys come down the street and they're emptying the garbage, but then they just throw your garbage can back at you. You pick them up, clean them, and bring them to the house. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah. We come the next day, so we always run into empty bins. So Excellent. Everyone just leaves them out for us. So we have customers that sign up for a recurring, monthly or quarterly clean, and then we'll show up the day after garbage day, one time a month or once every 3 months, and we lift it upside down into our truck, blast it with 200-degree water, super high pressure. Everything comes out, goes into that dirty water hopper. There's a screen to catch any garbage that's left over in the can, and then we're on to the next house.
I love it. I think it is so smart, so needed. Like when I saw your business, I went and looked at my garbage cans, and I was like, "Oh no,
they're all gross." If there's a garbage can out there anywhere in the U.S. right now, it's disgusting and it smells bad.
It really does. And we have in where I live, we're not allowed to put loose garbage in the can. Everything has to be in a bag. However, I don't know how it happens, but inevitably loose garbage will start to, you started with a 3-foot garbage can. Now I have 1.5 feet because the bottom half's all garbage.
Yep.
How does that happen? Who knows, right?
It's gross, man. It's gross. It just is compacted and all the juice just gets everything just layer on layer, and it's so bad.
Great time. so gross. You know where it's the grossest is like, because I work in healthcare, nursing homes, hospitals. I don't know if you service those guys, but you need to. You definitely need to. Holy heck. If you come to New York, I'd hire you in a minute.
Wow.
That is.
I hadn't even thought of the nursing homes yet. Ooh.
Yeah.
All I think about is houses, and man.
Yeah, nursing homes. My brother, that might be the next big thing. You let me know. I'll hook you up with a contact list because that's really good. But before we get too far into your business, which I think is really fun, I would really love to know about, like, where did you come from? Where did you grow up? Are you from Utah originally? Is that where you've spent your whole life?
So I grew up in southern Missouri in the Ozarks, kind of by Springfield and Branson. And I grew up, working. My father had a commercial masonry company, so I grew up working hard in the summers, lifting block, lifting bricks, mixing mud. I mean, the hardest work you could possibly do as a 16, 17, 18-year-old. And, I was going to do that, and I was going to work for Dad and kind of learn the business. But then I saw all the issues he was having with employees and getting people that wanted to come work that hard. Very difficult.
What year was this? Well, how old are you? I mean, what year is this?
42. So this was, 98, 99, 2000. Yeah. So I'm just in that phase of, am I going to do this with Dad or am I going to do my own thing?
Yeah.
And kind of left to do my own thing for a while. And then he started a helicopter tour business in Branson, Missouri. He always wanted to fly. And so
what a weird change from laying brick to flying helicopters.
Well, when you work your ass off, work your butt off all your entire life, and you've wanted to fly your entire life, he finally did it. And so we started a helicopter tour business in Branson, Missouri back in mid 2000s, and then he died in a crash. And so we Yeah, it was really awful.
Oh,
So
no. I'm
that kind
so
of
sorry to
stopped
hear
that.
that.
Thank you. It's okay. We stopped that, and then I moved out west. My mom moved out west, and I was always in the sales and marketing role at some point. I created products that we sold nationally, and had this idea about 5 years ago. My son was living with us, and I said, Cameron, our cans are so gross. I'm going to work up some kind of trailer with a lever that I can pull the lever down, lift the can up, and we're going to spray it out. And he just laughed at me. I'm telling you, people would pay you to do that. And he just laughed and said, well, if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to put the effort out because I have a job already. So, 5 years later, I had been fired from a job in tech. There's tons of tech here in Utah, and I was on a sales team, and they got rid of me because they didn't, I don't know, ask too many questions or something, or had a bad attitude. I don't know. Didn't like having a boss is the main thing. And I kind of went back to this. I said, hey, I had a thought again, looked up, and then there's guys building equipment to clean garbage cans. So I called my partner, Steve. We jumped on it. We started small, and we kind of built our own first rinky-dinky rig. And I've had 5 pieces of equipment over the past year, just kind of trying a lot of stuff. I wanted to see what the best was. And now we've landed on a nice big truck. It carries a ton of water. We can clean 2 bins at the same time. It's completely changed everything about our business, having the right equipment.
You know, what's so interesting about your story is, guys like us, when you get older and you have kids. And so like we have teenagers in our house, 19-year-old twin girls, 21-year-old boy, and summer jobs. And everybody's looking for a summer job. Everybody has the attitude, summer job. Where am I going to go work? Where am I going to go work? And I just wonder, I'm like, wait. How come nobody's thinking about what are you going to build? What are you going to make? Why don't you start your own company? And I, like you, I'm like, you know what? This could be a business. This could be a business. You could do this. You could do that. And everybody's just kind of like, well, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I love that you had the idea for your son, and then he didn't do anything with it. And then you're like, all right, so maybe it's not too much of a thing. But in the back of your head, you always just knew.
Go
ahead.
I wish we could instill that entrepreneurial spirit onto our kids, because we see the opportunity. We see a clear path laid out. If you would just do this, you would never have to work a job. Just do this, buddy. And they just don't. If they don't want it, they don't want it. And it's hard to instill that into them. My partner's sons are the opposite, and they're all about it. So it's fun they love our business, and they're always working on stuff. But if your kid just doesn't have the mindset, he just doesn't. So I'm glad that I kept it in the back of my head and said, well, I'll do it, and it worked out. And here we are.
Do you think maybe it has a little bit, like you might have an advantage in that your dad owned his own business too, right? Like there's that piece of it where you kind of saw what it was like to be the person who owned the business and made the decisions, got the contract. And so even though you initially went to work for somebody else, that might be it too.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is because I saw my dad doesn't have to answer to anybody. Like, he's not groveling to keep his job anywhere. He didn't come home and got in trouble at work for saying the wrong thing. So that was always really difficult for me. I bounced around a lot. It was hard finding my place because I'd get a job somewhere. I'd be like, well, my manager's 30 years old. I've got 15 years more experience than him. How is this guy my boss? This makes no sense to me. Like, what? And I would get frustrated that I hadn't found an opportunity sooner. And I was always like, you know what? It's my fault. It's not his fault he's the boss. I need to either make the best of it or get the hell out. So a lot of times I would just say, hey, this isn't the right fit. And I don't do well working for somebody. I don't like having 10 managers above me that can shoot down ideas. And I got to work for myself. It's just the way it is. I've admitted that, and I could never work for anybody else now.
And how long have you been on your own for now? How long has it been since you?
It's been a few years. I had a business online. I had some products that we would import from China, and I designed. And then this really is what took off. And I spent a lot of my time on. It's all I've done for the past 18 months is focus on cleaning bins. If I'm not cleaning bins, I'm talking to other guys who want to clean bins, and I'm selling them equipment, mentoring them, making silly videos on TikTok. I mean, that's all I do. Like, I could have gone out on my boat yesterday and caught trout. I decided to stay home and work on my basement, and it ruined my day. I was so mad at myself. I'm like, why didn't I go do something fun? But I'm just in that mode of work, and I just have to just step back sometimes and just say, hey, nothing's going to happen. I can take a day off and do things. but it's difficult to just take a break when you do your own thing. It's really hard.
It's scary to take a break, right?
Yep. You feel like you're going to miss something. You're going to get behind.
Yeah. I started this business. So I own a management training company. I train housekeeping managers. I'm an educator. Okay. And when you're an educator in housekeeping, first of all, nobody spends any money training housekeeping managers, which is the problem, right? I mean, there's very little resources out there. And it's all based on my hustle. If I'm not hustling, and so I almost have hustle guilt, where if I'm, even this morning, if I'm not making cold calls, I'm like, you've wasted the whole morning, even though I haven't. I've been working.
Man, that's tough, huh?
It's
tough.
You know what? It's the greatest thing. You know what? The greatest thing happened to me, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say the greatest thing happened to you is I got fired.
Yeah.
And
100%. It was the worst week of my life. But
you ever heard of the term golden handcuffs?
Kind of. I know what you mean, but go ahead.
It's just where I had a job that I got paid regardless of whether I did well or not. I got paid every 2 weeks. I would get performance improvement, evaluations if I wasn't doing my job or whatever. But, it's a type of job where you got paid enough to where it wasn't enough that made you happy, but it was enough to make it so you were afraid to lose your job.
Yeah.
And they call those golden handcuffs. And I hated it.
The amount of people that reach out to me to get started in this business or want to, and it just makes you feel bad because you realize that all my friends, everybody I meet, everyone I know, they're just miserable. They're just stuck in a job. It pays them well. They're spending what they make. They really can't leave. And when people do leave a job to jump into this business, it blows my mind because I know how big of a step that was for them. Because a lot of them will do it, on the side of the afternoon, kind of build it up. I've had guys that just literally quit their job. They have a lot of kids and they're just like, I'm doing it. It's amazing to me. Because I know they're all miserable. Yeah.
There's something to be said about a side hustle, and there's something to be said about swimming when you're in the deep end and you have no choice.
Yep. I appreciate it, man. I love when someone can any business, you just go for it. It says a lot about that person for sure. And then it may work, it may not work, but they did it.
I agree. I wonder why. Let me ask you, just because I'm curious, why the cleaning business? I mean, I understand you had a good idea. You kind of saw a need, but you're educated, you're experienced, you're a techie. Before this, you're a techie. You could have essentially gone into anything. Why cleaning? You tell me, why the cleaning business?
It wasn't the cleaning, it was the home service. It was the recurring revenue model with the home service. I worked for a company that we sold, they used our platform to get leads, right? So we would reach out to them and help them get their platform looking better so more people could find them and get them more leads. So I was talking with so many service professionals and they were doing insane amounts of revenue, but most of them had no idea how to market their business. And they were doing everything there, no matter what the company was, it was usually the boss, maybe another person, and they were slammed. And marketing was the last thing they were doing or spending money on. So the whole time I was like, I got to start a service business. This is where there's so much opportunity to create recurring revenue. So I was like, I need something that can be done quickly. I'm not going to be at a house for 30 or 40 minutes or an hour or two. I don't have to have some special skill. I don't have to be licensed or certified as a plumber or a carpenter or an electrician. What can I do that I can show up quickly? And I was like, garbage cans. I went right back to 5 years previous. And I'm like, I can show up and be there for a few minutes. I can get people on a monthly or quarterly plan. And that's why I chose that one. And it just happened to be in the equipment makes all the difference. There are a lot of guys that jump in and they'll build their own rigs, because they don't have the money or they don't want to spend the money on a rig. But having that right equipment made all the difference. And now it's just shocking how obvious of a business it is once you get going on it. Because there's unlimited cans. You can never clean them all if you even wanted to. It's impossible.
That's such a great business. It's a great takeaway for people who are just thinking about how do you go into business? Like, what do you do? And it's that reoccurring model, that reoccurring revenue model on a consistent basis. That's really where the sweet spot is, right? That's the magic, getting people to come back. And if you know, what is that? That's the, isn't that like the gym membership? Like, you sign up for the gym membership, whether you go or not, you're getting billed.
Yep. That's kind of how it works. People sign up for the monthly plan. And we notify them 3 times ahead of time that we're coming, day before email, day before text. And when I'm on my way, they get a text. And if I show up to that house and their garbage cans aren't out or they're still full, they're still getting charged. I mean, they knew 3 times I was coming. They didn't text me, say, hey, my cans are full. So It's just one of those things. And I just tell them, it's like Netflix. If you don't watch it, you're still getting charged. You know, it's like the car wash you pay every month for.
You're still going out.
I'm
You're
coming.
still providing the service.
I'm still showing up at your house.
That's right.
You didn't tell me your cans weren't empty. You should have, and I would have skipped you and not charged you.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to drive to your house and do the job you asked me to do, you know, so that's what I wanted, because sometimes customers forget. My customers, I have guys that come out and give me a hug every time I show up. It's the craziest thing. There's a lot of OCD people that just can't get their garbage cans clean, and I show up and it's done in 2 minutes. It blows their mind. And every month they're like, he's coming.
I was going to say on TikTok, you kind of highlight a few of those moments, and your business seems to be designed for 2 things. One, it can be a solo operation, very fast and efficient. And 2, if somebody comes out, it's like watching an amusement park. It's like the bins are going for a ride. There's things swirling around. There's there's nearly bombs going off. There's smoke. You're playing music. I don't know what's going on up there.
Dads love it. It's funny. Just Friday, we were out cleaning. Usually we clean the day after garbage day, but on some of our routes, we clean on Fridays. We clean all day because I want to have my weekends. And so Friday is garbage day in most of these towns where we go. And we'll be in a neighborhood and we'll see so many dads, their cans upside down in their driveway with a little pressure washer spraying it out. And I just honk at them and they look. And I'll always stop and clean their can for them because it blows their mind. Their kids are watching, and they always sign up because it's just they're sitting there in the mud, in the dirt, and I can show up and do it for them once a quarter.
And not only that, but you correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't just clean the garbage can, but whatever is inside it, you take with you. Yeah. When I clean the garbage can, I make a mess in the driveway, which I then have to clean up.
Yep. There's nothing left behind. There's just a big water spot on the road. That's it. It's dry in a minute, and then we go. So, yeah, they love it. It's, a lot of people on TikTok or online or on Facebook ads, they'll comment, this is the stupidest thing. It's like, hey, cleanliness isn't for everyone. That's fine. Go with your dirty garbage can. We're going to keep cleaning because our customers want it. And it just bounces right off. It's like, guys, if you don't understand why someone would want their garbage can clean, go on. I can't help you.
That's so funny that you said. I would have never guessed that you got any, hate mail.
Oh, it's nonstop. It's insane.
Crazy.
It's like, why do you care if someone cleans a garbage can? Does it affect do you hate car washes? Do you hate restaurants? Yeah, everyone can cook their own food, but they go to restaurants. They go to car washes. People pay for convenience. That's why this business works. They see that I can solve their problem in less than 2 minutes, or they could sit out there on a Saturday and get dirty and mess with all that. It's ridiculous to do that yourself. All that stuff spraying out.
There's a great book called Who, Not How. And this is the perfect example of one of those who's, instead of trying to figure out how to clean don't worry about how to clean a garbage can. Find out how to clean the garbage can.
There's so much stuff. I've reached that age where I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. We just finished our basement. I did maybe 2 hours worth of work in that entire basement. I'm like, I don't want to. It stresses me out. It frustrates me. It ruins my day. Why would I put that on myself to save some money? Wait till I have the money and just let it be done. And so it's like people are the same way. I don't want to deal with it. That's why car wash memberships work. Every single thing we do in life now is getting so easy. And, good or bad, it's where we're headed. And so if I can provide a service to someone, there's so many things. All these times little kids reach out or teenagers reach out about how to get started. I'm like, hey, this equipment's super expensive. It's not something you just do on your own. Let's try this though. Maybe you start a dog poop business, or maybe start a business cleaning out the window wells from basements, because those are always filthy. Those are businesses any of these teenagers could start if they just had that motivation. And there's so many little things that they could create recurring revenue doing that a homeowner would gladly pay them for, that are not lawns or windows. There's all kinds of little things. So I picked one that I
1,000,000% agree. And I think, so we have a 21-year-old I don't know what it is about my neighborhood. I don't know that it's our kid as much as it seems to be a lot of the kids around here. They all want to get into finance. And I'm always like, you don't want to build anything. You don't want to create anything. You don't want to, everybody just wants to bank on somebody else's building and creating. So which flies in the face of what I'm into. I'm totally a creator. But I think you're totally right. Like when I was a kid, lawn care, painting. I mean, I spent a summer once working at the dump, and all I did for tips, the dump wasn't paying me anything. But all I did was empty. So people would back up their truck or their car to empty their trash, and I would empty their trash for them.
That's great.
And everybody gave me, like, it was like a standard dollar tip. Well, at the end of the day, you're doing 50, 60 cars.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's great.
It was
you, man.
I was like 15. I've always been that way. I imagine you've probably been that way too. Like I collected baseball cards. So I sold baseball cards. I was always trying to figure out how to make more money,
That's great.
Always
collecting
cans and bottles on the side of the road.
Yeah. I love seeing kids out doing stuff now because it's so rare when you see kids out trying. Because they can, sadly, they can make videos that aren't funny and post them. And a lot of other kids with the same random sense of humor will think they're hilarious and they become famous. But then they realize I don't have to really do anything. I could just make videos and I may have a shot at that. And I hate that that's out there for them because they're missing all that time of growth and figuring out how to really create wealth for themselves. And, but all we can do is keep going. And there's a lot of kids on TikTok that follow me and reach out, and I'll get phone calls on a random Saturday. You the guys from TikTok? And I'll talk to them because if they have questions, I'm glad they're at least watching my videos, and they've took the time to watch a video about a dude cleaning garbage cans.
Yeah.
So if they call, great.
I think it's so great. I think you're right. I think there's something to the struggle, to doing hard things, to having an unhappy customer.
Yeah.
It's one thing to go, you know what? I got a couple of lawns to mow. And then, Mrs. Staub, who you went and mowed her lawn, is not happy because you didn't do it properly. You didn't do it the way she wanted to, and she gives you a little butt chewing. That butt chewing is important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Huge.
And
huge.
I wonder if, like to your point about the kids making videos nowadays, I wonder if that's part of what they're going to be missing. They're missing the struggle. Although they're not to say that, reading comments that are negative are not. I remember this one time, and I'm 50, so I'm a grown man. I've been a grown man for a long time. And I'm only prefacing that to say that when I first read this comment that I got, I was actually upset about it. And it took me a few minutes to go, what the hell are you getting upset about? It's so stupid. But I am a syndicated writer, and I write a column every week. And my column got picked up by the Executive Housekeeping Today magazine. This is maybe 6-7 years ago. I'm very excited. And then they have a sister magazine in Australia, another cleaning magazine in Australia. And they call and they reach out and they're like, hey, we noticed that you're writing for them. Would you be interested in writing for us? And so I remember posting on Twitter that I am now an internationally syndicated columnist. I mean, I'm very excited. And somebody's like, you write about housekeeping for a housekeeping magazine, like keep yourself in check. And I remember just being like, maybe I shouldn't be posting about me. I'm just a measly housekeeper.
Oh, Ralph.
A grown man.
That's tough though, man.
I was like, screw you. You know what? I have no idea who it was, obviously, because that's the whole anonymous part of it. But who the hell are they writing for, right? Twitter?
Yeah. That's hard, man. Any negative comments are hard. They brush off, but it still gets you. It's like, who are you? You're like, you don't put any videos out. What are you making fun of mine for? Like, I'm out trying to make something happen. Like, it's tough. People are the worst sometimes, for sure.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm trying to lead to is with a kid who, I was that kid who was always trying to get the side job when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I would need a talking to by the person who paid me, either because I did a half-ass job or I skipped out because I wanted to play baseball with my friends that Saturday, or whatever the reason, or I didn't do a good job. And when they came to me and they were like, hey, that's not how you do it. And then they kind of held my feet to the fire. And then I was able to turn that person around to where they hired me. They believed, they're like, oh, I'm going to give this stupid kid a chance. And then they gave me a chance. I messed up. They yelled at me. I corrected it and made them happy. That doesn't happen if I make a video and you're negative to me. I can't make another video and be sure that I corrected you. You know what I mean? Like that. It's that full circle piece that I think is probably, to your point, going to be the most devastating to these kids as they get older, because they haven't had to do.
I agree.
Not that they haven't had to do hard things, but they haven't. Being a management trainer, I think one of the things that really plagues my industry is we don't let managers fail anymore. We hold their hands so much that we don't let them do anything because we're afraid of them make a bad decision. If they make a bad decision, it's going to cost us money and the unemployment rate. And so we don't let them make a decision at all. So they can't make a mistake. If you can't make a mistake, you don't learn.
It's hard, man. I've got this truck that I paid a lot of money for, and it's hard to trust someone to just hop in this thing because my business is on this truck, and I need to hire a person that can run this for me. But giving up that man, it's scary. It's really scary. Because if anything happens to that truck and it's off for a month or a week, I can't go clean those bins with my pickup truck. Those customers aren't going to get fixed. They're not going to get clean. I'm going to have to do them next month on top of everybody else. So I just look ahead and think, man, if someone wrecks this truck, all the work I have to do, I'll just do it myself. And it's difficult. I got to get past that point. And as we grow and expand, it's going to have to happen. And I put myself through it, but
in order to grow, I'm in the same boat. And I'm in the education. Like, how many teachers there are? 8 million of them. And I'm like, I can't get another teacher. I mean, I have to be the one teaching or,
isn't that funny? It's teaching, you can tell them what to say and they know too.
It's silly. It's silly. I'm in the
same.
same.
Never wrecked his vehicle, but I'm afraid he's going to wreck my truck,
And the truth is, because I'm the only one teaching, I'm the one who makes the mistakes. I'm the one having to call, like, I said something yesterday. I don't know if you caught it, but that was actually wrong. This is the right.
Yeah.
And you too, you're probably having near misses on the road, right?
All the time. Jeez, I had a guy out from South Carolina last week, and because he bought a used trailer that I bought, and he's getting started in South Carolina. He's pumped. He's 22, 23. I mean, He's got a goal, wants to retire by 30. And I love that because he took the time, he put the effort, his grandpa helped him out. And we're out driving around in my truck and we were just going house to house. We had a bunch in that neighborhood and we hopped out of the truck and we both go to the back and the truck starts driving away. I hadn't put it in park. So we run. I mean, I'm the guy and I'm the one doing this crap. So we both ran, caught it, luckily because it was just a flat street, jumped in, slammed it in park. And I was like, man, if that would have been on a slight downhill, it would have gone right into someone's front door. I mean, I was like, I can't believe I did that. And I'm worried about someone else doing it, and I did it.
Yeah.
Because you just get busy. So I just need to get over it myself and just grow. But man, it was a scary day. I almost destroyed my truck. It was very close.
That is scary. And yep. I can't even, I feel like, and that's to come with growth, right? It's the whole idea that 99.9% of the things that have held me back my entire life are between these two eyeballs of mine, right? Like they're totally here, I'm the one who's always been in my own way, but I'm in the same boat. Like, how do you get to the next level? It's by finding who, not how. Right?
I have a really good partner. It's kind of unique. My partner is my kid's stepdad. They met after my wife and I split up. She met Steve, and he lived in southern Utah. And I was like, that's a really nice guy. He's a great dude. And, whenever you're coming along and this guy's me, my kid's stepdad, I couldn't have been happier. And I was always watching him. He'd been super successful before, and I was always looking for something that we could do together. And whenever we started this, he was the first person I called, and he was like, yep, let's do it. And he's 4 hours away. I handle this portion of the business, and he handles that portion. Our roles are very clearly defined. I'm never upset that he isn't helping me clean bins because that's not his role. And so having that partner and having that right person in place is what kept this thing moving and made this possible. kept me going. There's days I want to quit. It's hard. It's hot. It's long. A stupid part breaks down the truck and I'm shut down for a day. Every time that happens, you're like, I'm out of here. I'm done. And, luckily there's two people that make the decisions. If it was just me, I'd have been done a long time ago. But luckily I can cool down and talk to him about it. And he's got a super chill personality. He's just like, all right, we'll fix it, So that's been huge in what we've done. And it's going to help as we move forward and helps our decisions.
I don't think we can gloss over this. Who the heck are you? Like who meets their kid's stepdad and goes into business with them? That has got to be, you've got to be one of the most unique people. That says an awful lot about your character. That's pretty impressive.
He's a good dude.
I'm sure that my ex-wife's husband is a good dude. I have no idea. I've never.
Funny, huh? It works.
That's
it works.
funny.
He's
That's
got
funny.
a lot of things going on. There's no reason I'd ever not do business with him now. Everything we work on, we've got hot tubs coming from China. We've got, we just see opportunity, we jump on it. And he tells me when to stop spending money, or he tells me to this, and I give him ideas, and he's like, great, that's a good idea, let's do it. So it works really well.
That's really fantastic. I don't know if you're comfortable talking about it at all, but I do. One of the things that I really do enjoy about your TikTok is that you do have your girls with you sometimes, and they have a blast.
Yeah.
It's called
They
Big
live
Blast.
down in.
They have a blast.
Yeah, they do. They love it. They live in southern Utah, and it's hard because I can't just have them with me all the time. So when they come up for extended periods of time, they'll go out with me all day. And Taylor, the one with Down syndrome, is the sweetest thing on the planet. So I can put her in videos, and it takes us about 20 takes for her to get what she's trying to say. But when she gets it, I'll adjust things so she can get it. But she has so much fun. And then my daughter, Charlie, it's so much fun. I wish they could be here every day because we'd make every video together, but do what we can.
I think that, when I'm talking to some people about TikTok and everybody's kind of curious, should they be doing TikTok? Because it seems like a young person's platform and everything. And I'm like,
not at all.
I agree. The key to TikTok, and I'm going to use you as an example, and I do, is you have to make it about you, not just about you and your business. If you do it about you, people are interested. I'm interested. I found you and followed you, not because all right, so I'm a big fan of cleaning anything. So making a business out of cleaning garbage cans. I mean, I was like, Eureka, it sounds so amazing. But you've got such a fun story. You have such a fun family. You have such a fun, it seems like every morning is Christmas at your house. Like that's the persona. And even if it isn't that, I love that you're able to at least showcase all the good. Nobody wants to see all the bad. Don't you know? This isn't Cops.
I have a good life. My wife is incredibly intelligent. She works her butt off. We have our dogs here. It's her and I and our dogs. My kids are up here often, and it's a good life. There's not a lot of stressful things that happen. If a machine breaks down in my truck, that's the most stress I have. So I can wake up every day happy, and I can be like, let's go clean garbage cans. People would laugh at it, but at the end of the day, I may say I never want to clean another garbage can again, but I'll wake up the next morning and I'm like, let's go. Let's do the route. Let's get it done because I'm going to get more customers that day. I know more people are going to sign up. I forget how much people like their garbage can being cleaned. So I know that every house I leave, they're walking right out and looking inside because they want to see. And every single person is, it's like I made 50 people's day by having a clean garbage can. If I could do that, cool. That's something simple, but they're paying me to do it, and I'll keep doing it.
How did you get started as far as like, what was your community outreach like? Were you just like knocking on doors, putting door handle, like those door flyers up? Were you making calls? How did you go about it?
So we started, and then right when my first truck was done, we got done building it, COVID hit, and they shut everything down. So all my plans to sponsor baseball tournaments and be at all these things all summer just stopped. So I'd hop on a scooter. We got a Yamaha scooter, and I'd put a little bag on the floor between my legs full of these stickers, and we would hop on a scooter, go garbage can to garbage can, slap them on the lid, go to the next one. And this was just an
so
offer
you're
to
sticking
try
that
us out.
on the garbage can.
Yeah, because at first I would use like a door hanger, like a housekeeping hanger,
Yeah,
do not disturb. And but if you put those on a handle, first you got to get behind the garbage can. So if I'm riding on a scooter down the street, I'm trying to do volume, I got to get behind every garbage can. And some of those garbage cans handles are bigger, so I'd put the thing on, it wouldn't stick. So I got rid of the door hangers really quick, because if they lift the garbage can up, the garbage man, it may fall off. So I was like, I'm spending more for a thing that people probably aren't seeing. So I switched to the stickers, and I would put, I'd go out for a few hours and put, 300-400 stickers on cans. And then I'd go out and clean cans that afternoon because I only had a few customers. So it wouldn't take me very long. Mm-hmm. And then it just continually grows. It's fun. Now I'll go into a neighborhood where last year I had one customer. Now I go in there and I have 20 customers in the same, 3 streets, boom, boom, boom. So it's just fun to see that growth in 1 year. And I did a lot of that. Like, I wasn't going to go door to door. I didn't want to be the door-to-door guy because I hate when someone knocks on my door. So I don't want to have that. Anyway, I didn't want to do that. So I focus heavily on online ads, Facebook ads, and these stickers. That was really got me started with stickers on cans. I'll get new signups and I'll go to their house and there's still the residue on their can from the sticker I put on it a year ago, and they finally called me. It takes a while sometimes. One guy said, "I've been looking at this sticker for a year, and I finally called you." And now he's, I do it every month. So you just never know how long it's going to take.
There's a guy I know who fixes laundry equipment, industrial laundry equipment.
Cool.
And for a long time, what his strategy was, I don't know if it's still his strategy. Maybe it is because it's a good strategy. But, just as far as like for outreach and getting your name out there, because, your business is no different than mine in the sense that our biggest challenge is people don't know us. They don't know we exist. They don't know what we do.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times people will hear that I train housekeeping managers. They're like, that's a thing? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. That's a thing,
Yeah.
So this guy repairs industrial washing machines. And so what he did was he made up chrome silver, like silver or chrome stickers. So they look like they belong on an industrial machine.
Smart.
But they would have his number and contact information if the machine breaks. He would say, if this machine needs repair, call 1-800, blah, blah, blah. And then he would go to nursing homes and ask for maintenance. And maintenance would come up. And he'd go, I just work in the laundry and, I just would love to walk around, see what you guys are doing. Maybe I can give you some consultations, some tips. And they would always be interested and willing to show him the laundry room. And while he was there, he would just put his sticker on the machine.
That's awesome.
And, sure enough, a belt would break, a hose would break. And they're like, who do you call? I don't know. There's a sticker on there. And they would just call the number. And I, just think about that. And
it's great.
Like it's kind of like guerrilla marketing, right? It's like, I write, I also, in addition to everything else, I write books. So I've written 4 books on management. Ooh. And I was just always searching for different ways to advertise. And somebody was saying that if you have a book on Amazon, you can buy your book and you can bring it to Barnes and Noble or another bookstore and just put it on their shelf. And if somebody brings it to the counter and they scan it, it will scan and it will sell. Now you don't get any money for it because you donated the book. You'd obviously left it on the counter. But if you do that and you put your bookmark inside the book, or if you, the idea is also the person scan it, they're like, oh, I didn't know we carried this book and we don't have any more. Maybe they'll order it. But also the idea of imagine if you wrote a weight loss book. Imagine now that you put your book, you get a bookmark of your weight loss book, and then you go to the Barnes and Noble and you put it in all the weight loss books, your bookmark, as a free bookmark. And so people are taking, they buy the book about whatever, and they're open like, oh, there's a bookmark, and it's it's guerrilla kind of marketing.
Yeah, I think there's all little things, man. It's people don't realize you just gotta get out there. People just think that a lot of guys get into this business and they think the truck alone will just drive all the business. No, you got to put a lot of effort in. You got to spend that time. You're not gonna have any customers right up front. You're buying a truck. We're building it for you. You're gonna get this thing, and then so during that build time, the people that do really well, the ones that they start marketing instantly. Yeah, we're 3 months out, but we're coming, guys. This truck's going to be here. We're going to clean cans in our neighborhood. Sign up now. We'll see you in 3 months. There's so many little things. I'd ride a scooter around. We would go to, I want to do a lot of stuff this summer that we couldn't do last summer with, baseball tournaments and sports tournaments and, having the truck at events. But you gotta get into those communities, because I don't want to have to drive 10 minutes in between stops. So I want to get as many people in one neighborhood as I can. And if I have to do community stuff around that neighborhood, I'll do it. So when I go there next time, I got 25 stops. Then I'll have 30 stops. So it's just constant go, figuring stuff out. It's a new enough industry. We're all learning, but the ones that have nailed it are the ones really growing and enjoying the business.
Yeah. I wonder, do you have any idea, like, what worked the most? Do you think online advertising worked better than putting stickers on cans?
It's just the reach. I can target an entire town and certain, create my audience correctly so I can weed out renters or weed out other things, but I can focus on certain demographics and areas. And it's definitely the best. It's going to cost you the most money, but I know the return I'm going to get if I spend $1,000. I know the customers that'll sign up and how many, and the long term, because I'm going to have them for a few years. They don't stop. Once someone starts getting their garbage can clean, they're not going to go back. Unless they lose a job or move, nobody calls and cancels because they don't want their garbage cans dirty again. We'll go do a lot of one-time cleans because they just say, hey, I don't want to plan, just come clean it one time. That's great. Those usually call us again within 2 months because they assume, well, I've never got it cleaned before and it was doable. But once they spend money on it and get it cleaned once, then they notice how dirty it is. And so then they just, all right, come on, let's get you every 3 months then, let's get you every month, whatever. But it's a very sticky business. They don't leave. Even all winter. I went all winter and they just kept going. I only had a couple people that paused.
In long-term care, we always have a really crude joke. It's never intentional. It's just a joke. But, we make a lot of money on rehab, people who have broken hips and legs and stuff, and they have to rehab. And so, when your census is down, that means not a lot of people are visiting your nursing home for services. There's a crude joke, like, you're like, hey, can I help in any way? Well, if you could push a few people down for me, right? Like, nobody wants you to push anybody, Nobody honestly prays for ice so people fall and break a hip. But it's like an inside crude joke. And so with that, I wonder, do you ever just grab, I know you have a couple of dogs. If you just walk, go around to those customers and just throw the dog poop in their garbage can. I imagine in the garage, it won't take but a couple of days before they'll be like, ooh, we need this thing's cleaned out.
Only for the people that owe me money. That's where I take my dog poop.
That might be a marketing strategy you're missing here. Yeah.
No creating the whole neighborhood.
Yeah,
I got 3 dogs. I got plenty of dog poop.
That's what I'm saying. And you know what? In my town, we have. I've seen them driving around here. We have a guy with a truck that cleans up the dog poop in your yard. He'll drive around and he'll walk around your yard, listening to a podcast, picking up dog.
It's a tremendous business. It is the least expensive recurring revenue model you could possibly do, and you could be flooded with customers if you do it right. It's a guy in a pickup truck with a bucket and a scoop. It's so easy. It makes me upset sometimes that I didn't start there because I could have saved so much money on equipment and I could have had, probably more customers. And it's probably something I'll do next and create something big around it and make a brand because it's so easy to do. Yeah. You just have to go out every day. The only thing about recurring revenue service business is you have to show up every time. They've already paid for the service ahead of time. They're expecting you to show up. It's not for an owner that's I'm going to take a week off. You have to plan that week in and do half the week ahead and half the week the next week so they know you're going to do it. It's not something you can just leave. And somehow people still manage to screw up in this business. But man, if you got the customer service down, you got the marketing down, and you're a go-getter, you can do great in any service business, especially this one.
The service business is, so I was just talking to a guy in Orlando, Florida, and he owns a cleaning company. Cool. And I was asking if he has any staffing problems. Do you have any staffing problems, or are you really just a one person, or?
Cool thing about this business, I don't need a big staff. I mean, I need another person in my truck, and I had a great guy last summer, but he was a student, so he had to work around his college schedule. But like any business, finding employees is always difficult. And this, I've got a major piece of equipment I'm trusting somebody with. So it's a little harder, but a lot of guys in the industry, they start out and they hire a couple guys right away. And those guys are the ones that run the truck. It's not a hard thing to do, cleaning a garbage can, but they're going to do it right. I'm going to train them how to do it correctly, because I do not want a customer calling me. I don't have any bad reviews. No one's ever called and said you did a bad job. So yeah, it's a garbage can, but you're going to clean the heck out of it because that's what they're paying us to do. So you're going to do it this way, and it's going to look like this when we're done. And if it doesn't, and I get a complaint, you got one of those. Because if I get a bad review because someone else, not me, you're not going to be around very long. It's just a garbage can, but they paid us to clean the heck out of it, and we're gonna. So
yeah, and that's not the only thing you do, though, right? You offer pressure wash services as well.
Yeah. So last year we did a lot of pressure washing because we didn't have as many customers who had a lot more time. But I could, if I had the time to go out and get that business, I could have a pickup truck designated to just power washing at restaurants and homes and garages and concrete floors. And that alone is a tremendous business. I've got this thing where if I had the manpower to expand everything I wanted to, we could offer so many services, but I got to just focus, build this. Because, I've gone that route where I've done 10 different things and they all suffer. So I have to keep my vision very targeted.
That's so smart. And it's so important to point out that multitasking does not do you good in business. No. When you're a solopreneur.
I try it and I quickly realize I got to cut back. I got to step back. I'll offer other services. So during the sign up process, for a while, I said, hey, are you interested in window cleaning, house washing, lawn mowing, pest control? Because I could hire all those things out. But it's just another quote I've got to go do. I got to send someone out to measure the stuff. And it's just like, I just don't have the time. But man, if I had the time and had a couple more people, if I wanted to offer all those other things, I easily could. My customers trust me and I could offer them any service they need and they would do it. If they need their lawns mowed or their pest control done. But I just focus on bin cleaning right now and building that up and getting as many customers as possible. But if I'm not cleaning bins, I'm on the phone with guys looking for equipment, asking questions about, every call is at least an hour. It's not a quick conversation when someone calls you want to talk about this biz. So I focus my time on selling equipment and cleaning bins.
And so that perhaps could be such a great other thing, right? Is helping other people, almost franchising.
Nonstop. It's nonstop. It's every time one of my videos takes off and gets, a lot of views, I'm flooded with people looking for, how do I do this? How do I do it? And most of them won't. They don't realize how expensive the equipment is. But the ones that do, it's fun to help them. It's really fun.
Yeah. And it's important. And
yeah.
I know people who just simply, they're not lazy. They just don't have time to clean their own. They don't have time to mow their own lawn. They don't have time to clean their own house. They don't have time to wash their own windows. They don't have time to walk their own dog. People pay people to walk their dog.
Isn't that crazy?
It's
convenience, people that value their own time, that's who's paying for this stuff. And so many people just don't value their time, and they're getting there. If they realize you don't have to do all these little things. Someone will come and fold your laundry if you want them to. It's not that expensive. Have a housekeeper come in a couple times a week. How much other stuff, how much more you'd enjoy your life if you didn't have to clean your house 2-3 times a week? What's $100 a week? It's like, if you can afford it, do it. It's crazy to me that people that do all this other stuff when they can clearly afford it, to have it done for them and they can spend that time doing something else.
Yeah, so, 1,000,000%.
You got to just look at what you don't want to do and hire it out. Just don't do it.
Yeah, that is so. That's why I was so excited to meet you and talk to you, because you are the epitome of what I would call the American dream. Just somebody who's like, you know what?
Oh man.
If there's a bit, like, when you, and you know this as well as I do, when you understand business, you see it in everything.
Yeah.
You see a hot dog cart, you see a kid eating a hot dog, you're like, that's a business. You see,
that's so true.
You see grass growing, you're like, oh, that's a business. You see rocks being collected somewhere, then you see somewhere else where they're using rocks as lawn ornaments. You're like, that's a business.
Yep. It's insane. If I wish I could do all of them. I have a list. I have, a spreadsheet. And it's just like, I've got to wait. At some point, I'll do that idea, but I can't right now. But at some point, I can't wait to exit this business at some point so I can work on something else. But
yeah,
it'll be a while, but at some point I'll get out. But when I do, it's on to the next thing. And that next thing is going to go even more smoother because I learned so much from this one thing. So that's why I'm excited to do the next, because it's going to be so much easier.
I agree. Everything that I've done, whether I succeeded at it or not, has taught me big lessons on how to do the next thing. It's given me a huge leg up.
The failures, getting fired was it sucked, but it was a huge, like, wow, I caused that. It doesn't matter that I was the top sales guy, bringing in more revenue. I was the guy that they just didn't want around anymore. You know what? It doesn't matter you're the top sales guy. If you're the cancer and you're the one complaining when we implement changes that weren't part of your job description, and that's what it was. I would complain. I'd be like, why are we doing this? I was hired to do this. That's where the money is. That's where I'm trying to make money. I can't make money doing this brand new thing. And I was kind of that squeaky wheel. And instead of getting greased, I got cut. So I learned a lot. It was a big eye-opener.
I just had that happen to me in January, where I got terminated, and it's 6 months later. I'm still bitter, but
hard.
As much as it's taken me a long time to be able to understand this, but I earned a lot of it. Yeah. It's funny. I'm in such a unique position, and I shouldn't have been. I should have known better, but I train housekeeping managers. And so companies hire me to work with their housekeeping manager. And so I develop a real close relationship with the housekeeping manager and not their boss.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I have a contentious relationship with their boss and a good relationship with them, and they don't pay me. Their boss does.
Yeah.
Should have known better. I totally did it to myself. I did it to myself.
Huh?
It's
tough
tough.
to realize. It was eye-opening, but it was the worst week of my life for sure. I laid in bed for 3 days, and I was crying. My wife would be like, "You got to," and eventually, like, "You got to get over it," and I did. But it was tough.
I really appreciate you sharing and being honest about that, because I had the same response. Like, I'm suing. I'm under contract. And so they didn't just fire me. They broke the contract. They violated the terms of the agreement. And half of it's because it doesn't even matter. I'm sure that they just did a calculated risk. They're like, it's going to cost him more money to try to recoup the money than it would be for him. And they're right. You do the math. And I talked to a lawyer, and they're like, you're definitely in the right. You definitely can sue, but you would net zero. The amount you're suing is the amount you're good at going for. You should just go live your life. And I'm like, I don't want to live my life.
I got to get them. They must pay. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
I'm only sharing just to say that it was my doing.
Yeah.
I, just like you, even though I was good, even though I was good at what I was doing, even though I had a lot of buy-in, a lot of good relationships, even though my system was working, I wasn't fun to be with to the people who mattered.
I had a coworker that we kind of fed off each other in the negativity, and I'd realize, like, all day was just the negative, and he would feed into me, I'd feed into him, and we were leading the pack, but one of us had to go, and I was the one, and I earned it. It was my fault. So I learned a ton from it, and you just got to go on, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. So,
I respected you a lot without knowing you before we had this conversation, just watching your growth and starting this company and seeing you start it and take off. Thank God for TikTok and social media platforms for you to share. But then getting to know you and just hearing this part of you is, first of all, the idea that you went into business with your, I don't even know what to call him, your ex-wife's husband.
Yeah. That's funny. I know, we laugh all the time, and it makes so much sense to us, but to everyone else, like, are you guys crazy? I don't know. We have the same goal in mind. It's for our kids.
Yeah,
he loves my kids. I love my kids. And if we can both build something so we all benefit, I'd much rather have my kids get that money than someone else's kids that I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I'm admiring you. That's all I'm saying. I am admiring you. That is quite fantastic and very impressive. And then to be so honest about failing forward, which is what you've done here, right? You have failed forward. You didn't fail and go backward. You failed and moved further ahead, made it better, made it work for you, created your own thing.
Super. You know, there's that little tinge of happiness when I know that some of those people there in management see some stuff that I do, and it's like, I'm glad that I know they're happy for me. They didn't hate me. I needed to go, and someone had to get rid of me. But it is fun to know that, oh, I'm glad that person saw that video. You know, like, I'm doing okay, guys. You know, I know they're happy for me, and they didn't want me to fail. But it is fun to know that the coworkers you've worked with, because I have a lot of them. Some of them are customers, and that's really fun.
Fun.
A lot of coworkers, and it's neat to build something and have it work. It feels good, and it feels good to keep it going and have ideas and have plans it's really fun. So
yeah.
No, I wish everyone could experience not working for someone else and the freedom of it.
I completely agree. I too go to sleep sometimes dreaming that my enemies are watching me with awe and wonder. No, they're probably not.
That's funny.
They're all like, he's dead to us. Forget him. Like, all right. I too, I'm like, I'll show you, but Batman needed the Joker. Can we agree?
Yeah, he did. Totally.
Batman is not a superhero unless there's a supervillain.
He's just a guy in a rubber suit.
I need a villain.
That's the motivation. That's good.
That's it, right? I mean, so
and mine is everyone that says it's stupid to clean a garbage can. It's like, I'll show you. Just wait.
Yeah, I'll show you. You want to follow me to the bank?
No kidding.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for being on. This has been real joy, and I knew that you were exactly the type of person I wanted to showcase here on the show. The type of person who, even though you're not exactly in the cleaning business, in your mind you're in the home service business. In my mind, you're in the cleaning business.
Yeah, I am. You're right. I am.
So we love finding people who are in the cleaning business, who are making it work, who are doing really great things and showcasing not only how important the cleaning industry is, but the cleaning industry is one of those industries, it's low entry. There's a low barrier to enter. You can start by cleaning houses, cleaning windows, cleaning up after dogs. You do not have to be stuck. You do not have to be working for somebody who's not pleasant to be working for. You do not have to be doing something you don't want to be doing. There are opportunities out there. And I'm just super happy I found you as a great reminder and an example of somebody who's doing that. So
thank you very much. You're in a great industry too. I wish more people saw how big of a business they could build just cleaning houses. And the pride most women have, and I could never do that. It's like, you're crazy. You could have a thriving business in any community, cleaning homes, and have so much revenue generated. And they don't. They choose to make candles or this or that. It's like, that's good. I'm glad they're doing something, but man, they don't realize the money they're missing out on cleaning homes.
Yeah, the service industry, the cleaning industry, big money, important work, a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Ralph. This is great. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Binblasters.com. Is that right?
That's it.
And if you really want a good time, go to TikTok and
please go to TikTok.
At Bin Blasters.
I can be myself there, and nobody, I can do whatever I want there. It's awesome. So please go there.
I love your TikTok. It is super fun, and seeing your girls, it's so fun. It's so fun. Mm-hmm. All right, Casey, you don't go anywhere. Everyone else, if you enjoyed this show, if you like the Housekeepers podcast, please make sure you subscribe, rate, Tell all your friends how fantastic it is. If you have an idea, somebody you're like, you know what, I know somebody who's killing it in the cleaning industry and they would be an awesome guest on the Housekeepers podcast, reach out to me. Let me know. I'd love to find out about them and see if they would be willing to be on the show and highlighted as a cleaning professional. And finally, if you are in the position where you want to be better at managing in the housekeeping field, please consider joining us at the Housekeeping Leadership Academy. We would love to have you. It's a great place for all housekeeping managers to get together, commiserate, share best practices, and most of all, get better at being an effective manager. Otherwise, that's it for me and Casey Evertsen. We'll see you guys later.